Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Wednesday, July the 27th. These are the charts of the day. Yesterday, we went over the Boxer shorts list. There was quite a few ugly-looking charts, and boy, a lot of them got hammered. I wanted to update them today. The market had a very, very difficult day today, and although we're getting near oversold, we are in a downtrend and may not be able to arrest that for another couple of days. So let's just continue to look at what is working here. Ad trend ADTN, you can see today, focusing in on the short term, broke this little flag and spiked down, reaching down to under 33 at one point, closing at 33.59, down $1.28. But at this point, it looks like it's in free fall and could run down to test this 30.5 range short term. Akamai coming out of a wedge pattern to the downside, perhaps. We're going to have to closely watch the 2890 area, which is not far from here. If that cracks, we could very well see this thing in the mid-20s perhaps, and this is in a distinct downtrend at this point. One of our beloved stocks, Acme Packet, looks like a massive head and shoulders top rolling over. It bounced at the neckline last week. Today it's come down 395 or 6.3% with heavy volume of 3.8 million shares and appears to have been closed below the neckline and trend line. Dangerous spot for this stock. We can see it rapidly fall down towards 50 here, short term. ASMI, and a nasty head and shoulders top broke down, bounced, and now is rolling over down another 63 cents today. Capital One Financial right on the precipice on a very key long-term support level at this old high and these lows in here. Also, the trend line having been broken and snapped back to and failed at, and now rolling over down $1.23 today on 5 million. Looks like that could crack and run down into perhaps the low 40s at some point shortly. CREE continues to go lower, down from the low 70s to the low 30s, and yet down another $1.54 today. Won't quit. There's some short-term support around 30. Gets down below that, we can see 27, 7.5. Former Boxer Short, CYD. When I say Boxer Short, I'm talking about Boxer Short swing trade idea. It's still a Boxer Short in our list. You can see how ugly it cracked here in May. Bear flag, cracked again. Another bigger bear flag, rolled over and cracked support yesterday, following through downside at $1.49 or almost 8% today. Very negative looking pattern. I'm looking for a move down to test the 14-15 zone, perhaps even as low as 11 or 12 at some point soon. Diodes. Very negative session for the stock, as this bear flag here, which failed at the declining top line of moving averages, broke hard with a gap down and a run down $1.42 or 5.7%. An increasing volume. What can I say other than this looks terrible, and I can see a run down towards the 1920 zone. Dolby Labs continues to look ugly, although it did bounce back in the last couple of weeks. Today it failed right at the declining tops line and top of the channel and rolled over for $1.52 or 3.4% as volume picked up to the busiest session in 2 weeks on a downside, breaking back below the 50. Not good. Look for a short-term test of 40, maybe lower. Ensign Group. Steadily moving lower, especially after the spike and snapback failed at the moving average and reversed. Down another 96 cents or 3.3% today. Certainly not a pretty pattern, and could very well test this low down here around 26 short term. But on the overall scope of things, if that level is taken out, we could see the stock in the low to mid 20 and the low 20, excuse me. FDS, big breakdown today. This wedge here broke down with abandon down 273. As volume picked up a bit, and the parallel channel bottom now looks like it's around 89.90 short term. FFIV down another 441 today and cracking. This cracked, gap down below the 50-day moving average and below price support, has gotten it down to test this low here. It did try to bounce, and again yesterday, but finally rolled over today. Looking for a quick test of 90-91 zone here. And if that gets any lower than that, we could see this collapse and fall away. GPRO, also in a negative looking pattern, cracked, formed a wedge, broke down, formed a little mini wedge, and then today down another $1.77, continuing to look weak. IHS, which we shorted today, dropped down 245, and it looked like it's falling away towards the 74 level short term. It may even crack that and go into low 70s, maybe 70. INFA, which snapped back to the neckline after breaking last week, rolled over today for $1.99. That looks lower. Target 45. ITRI, after running back up to test the declining tops line and moving average, is cracked today for 217. and it's moved right back down to test support. If it breaks down here, I wouldn't be shocked to see this in the low 40s. Kramer Performance Polymers breaking a big wedge yesterday, following through down $1.52 today. I could see this testing and cracking 34.5 short term and getting down towards the 30-31 zone. Lamar Advertising continues to look like crap, and over the last 6 months it dropped from 40 to 25, and yet it looks even lower. Wouldn't be shocked to see 22 short term. NPK may be breaking down from this large rising channel or bear flag. At the top of the channel here, a rollover could cause havoc and run this down into the high 80s perhaps, but let's see if it holds 96.7 zone first. That's what I'd expect to see on a test here. Netgear cracked today. We just added it to our box of shorts list. Key support down 304, cracking the trend line and lateral price support, and maybe in free fall to fill this gap and get down into the low 30s, maybe even 30. Open table cracked today down at 238 and took out the June lows. This one is in a down channel and could very well test the lower end of that channel down in about the 64.5 zone. That's our next target. QSoft down at 56 cents today. May have cracked this little bear flag. The way I would draw it would be here. Bear wedge of sorts. And today it looks like it's cracking down and headed for 17. RIMM down $1.68 or 6%, right on key support. If it cracks here, we'll look for a quick move down to 23.5, maybe even 21. The stock is under a lot of pressure. Another breakdown on SFSF. Success factors down $1.49, and to new 4-week lows. A breakdown below the spike low could yield 23.5, 24 zone, my next target for SFSF. Trimble Navigation cracked today down $1.38. You can see this wedge pattern breaking. I'm looking for a move down to test 34.4.5. And lastly is VSEC down 81 cents or 3.7%. Low volume though, but this one could fall away and get down quickly to the 18 and 3/4, 19 zone. And that's it. Boy, what a bunch of ugly looking stocks, huh? Let's hope the market continues lower for a couple of days and then reverses. But at this point, this is a nasty looking market right here. Good night.